Hello, everybody. Today has been a great day. Everybody knows I'm going to be the most out of control Republican running for governor I ever heard of. Now, yesterday, being Halifax County in their nice little general district court, which I won, of course, that was going to be the outcome because there was no other choice but for me to win. Now, while at court, I go up to the bailiff, trying to be nice, not trying to say, hey, I'm a candidate for governor of Virginia, even though everybody in the building knew it. I didn't start no trouble. I simply asked, what kind of device can I use to record the proceedings throughout the day in Halifax County General District Court to one of the bailiffs. Now, it was a whole lot of police there. There was a whole lot of jackasses there. And it was one badass Republican there that you just don't fuck with. Period. So, after I asked the question, he says, oh, you cannot record in our courtroom. You can't have an audio device and all that other bullshit, not knowing that Merle Rutledge already checked out the code, already talked to the lawyers, already did the due diligence. Let me use my fancy language for those who are out there. That already showed that the state code allows for the recording general district court proceedings by way of audio. Now, I could have did it by video, but we found out a little bit too late and court was already going on. But this happened earlier throughout the day because I like to actually watch the proceedings throughout the day just to get an idea of the type of judge I'm dealing with and basically how they rule. It's just called defense strategy. And I do it well. Now, even though I knew I was going to win, I wanted to do things the right way. Be nice, polite, and professional. That's exactly the best way to handle business. So, I hear that part. I said, no, I need for you to ask the judge because court hasn't started, and this is during the time frame of where motions are supposed to be presented or considered at the beginning of court, especially if it deals with trial or deals with any matters that may need reasonable accommodations like the ADAs. You have a hearing problem or something like that. This needs to be brought up at the beginning of the court session so that they can accommodate you. For example, anyway, he said, no, you can't do this. Trying to be the judge, and you don't have that type of authority. I said, what kind of blue hell shit is this going on? And I could tell the bailiff was a Democrat. It was easy as I could see it. And the way he was talking was like he thought he had special powers to be the judge, jury, and the executioner of public policy in the courthouse. Obviously, he didn't know my resume. Obviously, he wasn't paying attention to how I kick ass all over Virginia with Democrats, liberals, rhinos. It doesn't matter who you are. But he tries to be the law. So I go back out to the General District Clerk's office, and this is to let y'all know how good I am. So I say to the court clerk, did you file my motion for my request to make sure that audio recordings of the court proceedings were done today? She said, yes, I made sure it was filed. They even had an email confirmation. Then all of a sudden, she wanted to be judge and jury and say, you can't have an audio recording device. There's a sign on the door that says you can't record. I don't give a damn about your sign. The state code says I can record audio, and it sounds like somebody needs to explain what bullshit is going on here in Halifax County, because right now you're talking to the candidate for governor of Virginia. I didn't say that part, but I wanted to make it clear that I wasn't no idiot. And I said, you know what the code is, so she wanted to go against that. So I go back into the courtroom. Then the same jackass bailiff was the #1 Democrat of the year, I guess, in Halifax County. He says, you cannot be in here to watch the proceedings, which is the public's right. That's exactly what the press is supposed to do. That's exactly what private citizens have a right to do, is be in court and observe the proceedings. Now, mind you, it was less than 25 people. At all times, it was between 13 to 20 people in this small, broken down courtroom. The courtroom was so cheap, they didn't even have microphones at the desk so that you could be heard. You know, the microphone that goes to a desk so the judge can hear you clearly, so they can actually hear the proceedings without having to continuously ask you to speak up. So he says you can't view the proceedings because of now Governor Northam's mandate. His lockdown says that you can't be in here unless you're a witness or whatever. And I said exactly, his lockdown didn't specify, whatever you want to call it, that you cannot be in the courtroom unless it's 25 people or under, which was always at all times. This is when I knew something fishy was going on, because every time I go to Halifax County Courthouse, it seems like there's cops waiting on me when I go in, when I go outside, asking me what happened, all this other stuff. Everybody's trying to be a celebrity, and I really don't give a damn, because I'm going to talk the same trash I talk to a cop is the same trash I talk to anybody. I don't find y'all special, except for the fact that when you're doing unconstitutional bullshit like this, the same way y'all trying to do the taking of people's guns, obviously somebody got to send out the message, because everybody talks patriot shit until patriot shit comes up. Period. So, he said because of the COVID lockdown, you cannot be in court to observe the proceedings, even though there is no mandate out there that says anybody has to give up their seat in the courtroom or leave based off of Governor Northam's mandate. And I didn't give a damn about his mandate, because we all know that's full of shit and it ain't a law. So while all of a sudden these Halifax County state officials want to be violating citizens' constitutional rights, so what they did was underestimate my knowledge, my ability, and my capability to handle these type of problems any kind of way I deem fit. Now, let me continue about the bullshit in Halifax County. Now, after that, I go back in the courtroom. See, this is where people need to understand. You do not need to get arrested to have standing to fight an unconstitutional law. Once they threaten you with any kind of action to force compliance, that is called a seizure. So, what I ended up doing was going ahead and testing how badass these officials was and how far they would go in their misconduct in exercising Governor Northam's law. Now, after that happened, I go back in the courtroom. The same Democratic jackass called the bailiff comes out, waves to multiple different police officers to come get me, to escort me out of court. I said, what are y'all scared of? What is y'all fear? What is the monkey of a governor having y'all asses up to? Because this is abnormal. I said this was targeted based off of all you devils in the courtroom. I knew Tracy Martin was there. The Commonwealth Attorney's Office was there. So this was planned. So what I have right now, that's what the lawyers is telling me, people. I have conspiracy charges against not only the Halifax County General District Court, but tell me I can't do what I can. I also have state sheriffs in my crosshairs as conspiring with each other to violate my constitutional rights. And I know they've been violating others. That's the reason why we are going forward with this lawsuit, because we cannot have the public feel intimidated just because they go to court and exercise their natural God-given constitutional rights. You have taken people's right to see their loved ones in the hospital and pass away. I'd be damned if you take away our right to know how our courts is operated, and I'd be damned who you are. You have a right to record the proceedings, and you have a right to tell the governor to kiss your ass based off of his stupid mandates. Because this has gotten ridiculous, people, over this stupid hoax. It has. So after that, after they put on this show, having 5 officers come after a non-violent, never caused problems, didn't cause a scene in the courtroom. This was a circus and a show and the abuse of authority, not only by the badge, but by everybody working in that Halifax County General District Court. And I'm pretty sure this has happened in other district courts all across Virginia, and it's about time Merle Rutledge does what he does best: drain the swamp and put an end to it. I don't care whether you're black, white, yellow, blue, don't even fucking matter. You have a right to observe your court proceedings. You have a right to record your court proceedings based off the state code that is enshrined into the Virginia State Code that says you have the ability to do so. So after all that show saying you can't come back into the courtroom until 5 minutes before your hearing. That's correct, people. 5 minutes before the time I could get inside the building, inside the courthouse, where our tax dollars is spent on operating. That's exactly how they decide to handle it. So obviously I pissed off the right people. So I wanted to make sure I continue to piss y'all off, because right now you know I'm 100% right. You got a lawsuit coming straight from hell because of your unconstitutional actions. I'm sick of you cops that's out there enforcing this governor out of control laws and using it as an excuse. Now, this is the most embarrassing part about it. And I'm going to tell people exactly why this extra part of what happened that day is embarrassing. So by the time frame I get to the court hearing to go ahead and whoop up on Governor Northam's 1A law and look at the crayon sitting across from me and saying this is embarrassing that you look like that going to court. Honestly, she looked like a crayon. Hair in different colors, mascara looked like it was wiped all over the place. She looked like a damn clown. And that's how she got treated. But the judge said at the beginning, do you have anything I need to hear before we get started? I said, absolutely. I said, these jackasses over here, and this is the part wasn't recorded because we had to decide on that part at this time period. So I'm in the courtroom without my devices because of these jackasses, and I wish I was able to record the beginning part so y'all can hear how the judge carry out law and order and let everybody know y'all ain't the judge, I'm the judge. But anyway, I look over at the jackasses that's sitting there a little bit scared because right before court there was a letter out typed up and sent over. It's called Letter to the Judge about their unconstitutional actions. So we had to address why these idiots escorted me out of court. And this is where the embarrassment came in. The judge just sat there and said, I have never stopped lawyers from recording audio proceedings, nor will I stop regular private citizens from doing so. Nor should anybody be led out of the courtroom and stop from hearing the proceedings, as there was never 25 or more people, and even if so, Merle Rutledge was already inside the building seated. So can you explain anything else he tried to do in order to stop the proceedings or obstruct it or impede them? They didn't have an answer. All they did was look stupid because I tried to warn them ahead of time, but they wanted a circus, and I'm pretty sure where this circus came from. I've been clowning their Commonwealth attorney all throughout the time period before that hearing. And I know good and damn well she thought it was funny until she found out I won my case. Not only that, but everybody else is catching hell today. So I made sure I sent off a copy to the Executive Secretary of the Commonwealth, which oversees the General District Court clerks. I know as soon as I got back for that hearing, that damn General District Court clerk was sitting there with her arms crossed, looking mad. I'm like, I don't give a damn if your boss called you and told you you are a piece of shit. Period. You can't violate people's constitutional rights and expect them to not have an attitude. You just underestimated my capability to go ahead and resolve issues professionally. Yes, I did. And after that, after them cops got told that you ain't the judge and he has a right to record the proceedings, that's when I went outside and I notified the public that we are going to have the proceedings recorded so everybody can hear how I'm going to whoop ass in this courtroom. Now, after making everybody look stupid in Halifax County that was involved in this conspiracy to attack a Republican, we are under attack, people, everywhere. I'm telling you that one. Whether it's public officials, whether it's the courts, whether it's the clerks, it doesn't matter. These animals are attacking us. It doesn't matter if they're in uniform or not. If they are Democrats and they find out you are Republican and you support our president, they are attacking you right now. And you have to keep yourself knowledgeable about everything they can and can't do. Do not fall for the liberal Kool-Aid that they have out there trying to tell you what to do, especially when they're abusing their badge or abusing their authority. This is what they are getting trained to do. They are getting trained to attack us, the politicians. That's all they want to do. The police and the rest of them, they are falling for this liberal Kool-Aid, and we have to back the police by making sure we fight these matters in court and making sure that they have the proper backup to address these matters against their oath. And I now understand it's time for that to happen. I'm going to make sure it happens well, because what they're doing is ridiculous. This ain't just with voting. This is about socialism out of control. That's what is happening right now, and they are using everybody to get over on Republicans that they can. That's why you saw Senator Louise Lucas and all of them get all those charges dropped and everything else. That's because it's about prosecuting Republicans and conservatives that back and support President Trump. That's exactly what it's all about. And if you back them, they're going to try to make your life a living hell. And the best thing we can do is fight back and make their lives a living hell. Period. And after it was all said and done, after all the smoke and mirrors was over, we did find out at that time period I won. But at the same time period, we have to make sure we reinforce that Republicans and those who back the president, those who are patriots, they need to know we are the wrong ones to fuck with. Because if it ain't for us fighting for our freedoms, nobody else will. Period. So that's why we have filed the notice of claim that will be addressed at the next Halifax County Board of Supervisors meeting, which outlines the allegations that happened at that courthouse, and we will serve the state with notice that we ain't playing with their little Northam game. And that's what it's all about, people. It's all about Northam. It's all about his mandates. It's all about kissing Democrats' ass. That's why we have to win elections, people. We have to. Because all they are doing right now is saying, we gave up. It seems like even the police have gave up. We have to make sure they have a reason to stand up against these tyrants up there at the state capitol that making laws that everybody is getting sick over, that's killing jobs, that's killing business, it's killing us. That's what's happening. And they don't have enough people speaking out and doing enough as far as actions to get the job done. That's why Merle Rutledge is so important right now in this race, because I'm running not just for the Republican Party, I'm running for the people in Virginia and their constitutional rights and freedoms that these other politicians duck, dodge, and ignore, or they use it whenever it's convenient. We can never ever be silenced. We must have a right to have freedom of speech. It cannot be suppressed. Our freedom of press cannot be suppressed. We must fight each and every inch or mile along the way. If not, then they are going to take over everything and we ain't going to have nothing left. So that's exactly why I have given out full permission for my lawyers, signed it off, to go after the governor, go after those state officials who did this crap, and to make sure the public has a right and access to our courts, and that they won't be intimidated, they won't be violated by those who exercise unconstitutional